Hello and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Reshmi Sengupta, and on behalf of ABP Education, I welcome you all to today's webinar on mental well-being in pandemic. ABP Education is a portal powered by anandabazarputrika.com and the Telegraph online. It is just about a year old, and ABP Education aims to be a guide and friend to all of you students as you go from school to college and then from college to the careers of your choice. On this note, we are excited to bring you a series of webinars on mental well-being in the pandemic with Dr. Jai Ranjan Ram. Dr. Ram is a consultant psychiatrist at Apollo Glengals Hospitals and is the Joint Director of Mental Health Foundation, Kolkata. Today's webinar will address the concerns of the students of class 8, 9, and 10. We had asked all of you to write about the things that have been on your minds, and so many of you have written in to us. Thank you so much for sharing. Dr. Ram will address these concerns, and we hope that you will find a lot of useful tips in today's session. So we also plan to create a worksheet for you, which we will email across to you later. The worksheet will have all these tips that we will be discussing today and which you can go back to later whenever you feel like. With this, we'll go straight to the main session and I'll invite Dr. Jairanjan Ram in. Dr. Ram, a very warm welcome to you and thank you for being with us today. You have been interacting with a lot of young people who are going through a lot of distress in these extraordinary times. And what do you have in mind about what they can do to deal with this situation better?
Good afternoon, Reshmi. Good afternoon, everyone. And I would like to, right at the outset, I would like to thank ABP Education for organizing this. As you said in your introduction, ABP Education is a guide and a friend um, for all the young people who are along with us in this journey. So our aim today will be to kind of guide some of the young people who have registered here through the difficulties they have been facing. And as you said, it is needless to say that these pandemic, this lockdown, the school closure, exams being postponed, it has caused great difficulty amongst a large majority of children. But for today, we are not going to discuss about the causes of the problems, why it has happened. Today, we will entirely focus on solutions and how we can stay well. I think that will be our aim today. The fact that, so many young people have expressed a desire to attend this program uh, gives me enormous hope. You know why? Because mm, when we try and address a problem, we are acknowledging a problem exists. So the fact that so many young people want to come on board and discuss what are concerning them means they have identified that there could be a problem. And I personally think that is 50% of the battle won. If you identify a problem, if you acknowledge that this is a problem, then the solution will come through anyway. So that is the most hopeful thing. And regarding what we can do to sort out the problems, hopefully we will have a lot of discussion about that. But some of the things, which has been coming to us is there is an increased amount of anxiety, uncertainty, depression, feeling very low, feeling very unmotivated, and also a lot of young people are having great difficulty in focusing attention while studying. So there is a host of problems, and some of them are affecting some people more. Some of them are affecting these young people at a certain period of time, and then they themselves are trying to solve them. But I think these are the main problems, inability to focus attention on studies, feeling a bit demoralized, not being able to go out of the home, missing their friends, missing the fun of school. So all these things.
So there are a lot of things that young people already know how to deal with situations like this because they have handled certain situations before. Would you like to say something about how they can you use
Yeah,
things
I
that they
think
already know?
I think first and foremost, I think all of us are having problems. So I think first my message to young people is that, don't think that you are the only person who is having the problems. Your parents are having problems, teachers are having problems, counselors are having problems, psychiatrists are having problems. So we all are having problems because it is very difficult to adjust to this new situation. Now, what we need to do is to see who are the young people who are having more problems. তো তারা কারা, মানে যাদের একটু বেশি সমস্যা হচ্ছে। So there are children with, say, disabilities. They are having more problem. There are children who have a difficult home environment where there might be parental conflict. There might be a mental illness in either one of the parents. Or, I have met a lot of young people during these times who are young carers. So they are, although they are 14, 15, but they are having to look after someone who is ill at home. So these are the young people who are having more problems. So not everyone, as I said, I think most of us are having problems, but I think we have to be mindful that who are having more problems. And for those who are having more problems, and my request is that first and foremost, do not think that you do not have any help. Uh, Please reach out to your other family members. Please reach out to your friends. Please reach out to your teachers so that they can help you through this entirely difficult period of time. আর আমার একটা জিনিস মনে হয় যে আমাদের না এই যে অ্যাংজাইটি যেটা আমাদের হচ্ছে, উৎকণ্ঠা হচ্ছে, আমাদের মন মাঝে 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 খারাপ হয়ে যাচ্ছে, এটা তিনটে জিনিসকে আমাদের একসাথে ফাইট করতে হবে। There are three battles which we have to win. One first battle is against the COVID virus. Okay, তাহলে আমাদের মাস্ক পরে থাকতে হবে, হাত ধুতে হবে, we have to take some safety precautions. The other is we have to tackle the worry virus. দুশ্চিন্তাও একটা কিন্তু ভাইরাসের মধ্যে আমাদের অ্যাটাক করেছে, তাই সেইটাকে টার্গেট করতে হবে। আর থার্ডলি আমাদের ইনফরমেশনের ভাইরাসটাকেও ট্যাকল করতে হবে। There is a huge overload of enormous amount of information. So we have to deal with three things in order to reduce our anxiety. First is COVID virus. COVID এর জন্য we have to take certain precautions. If we are not worried about COVID virus, then it should be abnormal, because only if we are worried, we will take certain precautions, our safety measures, so as to keep everyone safe, ourselves safe. So first is tackling the COVID virus. Then secondly, very important, ইনফরমেশন ভাইরাস। এই আমাদের অনেকের না অনেক অশান্তি দুশ্চিন্তা হচ্ছে খালি নানা রকমের নিউজ, ফেক নিউজ, এগুলো দেখতে দেখতে। তাই আমাদের যেটা চেষ্টা করতে হবে, we have to try and reduce the amount of bad information, fake news which we are getting. So information is required, but please do not trust everything you hear on social media, Facebook, WhatsApp. Please log on to authentic channels. Please log on to authentic government pages or information pages and follow the instructions. Too much information will increase anxiety. Thirdly, what can we do about our worry virus? I think that is the main thing. তো এইবার আমার যেটা মনে হয় যে আমাদের যখন আমরা খুব চিন্তা করি, টেনশন করি, সবকিছু না কিরকম একটা তালগোল পাকিয়ে যায়, মানে we feel very bad inside, we can't decide anything. So the things which I personally do, I will share. What I do is I take a pen and paper and I write down what I am feeling. I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling depressed, I'm having panic attacks, and these are the reasons why I'm feeling like this. So I'm feeling very anxious because I'm concerned about my mother's health. I'm getting panic attacks whether I will be able to go to the hospital and keep safe. So, what I do is, and what I request all my young friends to do, is to sit down with a pen and paper, spend half an hour with themselves, make a list, and just write down the worries they are having. এইবার আমাদের সামনে যখন একটা লিস্ট থাকে না যে এই কারণে আমরা চিন্তা করছি, দুশ্চিন্তা করছি, তখন আমাদের শত্রুকে চেনা হয়ে যায়। মানে এই জিনিসগুলো আমাদের ট্যাকল করতে হবে এবং এইগুলোকে আমরা এইভাবে ট্যাকল করব। তো এইবার আমাদের যখন একটা লিস্ট হয়ে গেল যে আমাদের এইগুলো করতে হবে, তখন তার মধ্যে থেকে আইডেন্টিফাই করতে হবে যে এই যে 10টা জিনিস নিয়ে আমরা দুশ্চিন্তা করছি, তার মধ্যে কোন জিনিসগুলো আমরা একটু চিন্তা করে, বাড়ির লোকের সাথে আলোচনা করে, বন্ধু বান্ধবের সাথে আলোচনা করে আমরা ব্যাপারটার সমাধান করতে পারবো। Which are the things which we will be able to solve together. And when we mean together, either with family members or with friends or with teachers, who can help me? Can the teachers help me in understanding some of the lessons which I am lagging behind? Can I talk to my elder brother and he will sort out a net connection which I am very anxious about? Can I talk to my friend who has gone through a similar situation at home when his father was having COVID and how he dealt with it? তাই আমাদের এই লিস্ট করে আমরা যদি ব্যাপারগুলোকে অ্যানালাইজ করা, ট্যাকল করার চেষ্টা করি, তখন আমরা দেখব যে আমরা অনেকের কাছ থেকে সাহায্য পাবো। তাই মেন হচ্ছে একটা লিস্ট করা, কোনগুলো আমরা সলভ করতে পারবো। দ্য মেন থিং ইজ রিচিং আউট টু পিপল, নিজের মধ্যে একেবারে একা ব্যাপারটা রাখবো না।
And also, apart from writing, which is a fantastic exercise, are there other ways that people can express themselves, like
Anyway,
naach,
you know,
kahan?
a lot of people, I know a lot of my young friends, they draw cartoons, they kind of write letters to their friends, they draw, they are for relieving anxiety. You know, you can dance, you can do a lot of things, you know, you can exercise, you can do minor household things. You know, friend, as we were discussing one day, many people find caring after a pet very helpful. Adopting street dogs, pets, that is also very helpful. You don't have to buy a pet. If you have plants at your home, in your terrace, caring for the plants is also very therapeutic. So each of us find ways. So my request will be that find out what helps you. Eibar, even when we are doing these things, the worry will come. So again, my request is that let us take a worry break. What does it mean? Suppose I'm worried about something. Let us fix a family time that from 6 o'clock to 6:30, me, my brother, my sister, my parents, we will all sit down in the drawing room or in the dinner table, and each of us, we will discuss what worries we have. So Baba might say something, Ma might say something, and we all collectively as a family try and solve it. So worry break can be taken, and my request will be we should try and discuss everything during those breaks. Worry breaker pore, we can have a family fun activity together. যে আমরা কোনো একটা কমেডি সিরিয়াল দেখলাম, আমি আমার যেরকম কতগুলো খুব ফেভারিট কতগুলো জিনিস আছে, আমার মন টন খারাপ হলে একটু বোর হলেই আমি সেগুলো দেখি। হ্যাঁ, and that is invariably it makes us feel good. তো আমরা ওয়ারি ব্রেক নিতে পারি, followed by a comedy break, followed by family activity fun times together. আমি একটি ছেলেকে দেখি, সে বললো ওরা বাড়িতে নাকি ডাইনিং টেবিলের উপরই টেবিল টেনিস খেলছে। তাই খুব খরচা করার কিছু দরকার নেই, মানে খুব সাধারণ মাথার থেকে বুদ্ধি বার করে লুডো খেলা, ব্যাগাটুলি খেলা, একসাথে কম্পিউটার গেম খেলা, সেইটাতেও কিন্তু অনেকে আমরা এনজয় করতে পারি।
Even friends can get together and do certain things.
Absolutely. Friends can, আজকাল তো সোশ্যাল মিডিয়ার জন্য we can all connect up. আমায় একজন বললো যে আমরা সবাই মিলে সিনেমা দেখছি, তো আমি বললাম যে সিনেমা দেখছো কি করে? বললো না আমরা একটা গ্রুপ করেছি, সেইখানে একজন নাকি কি সিনেমা কাস্ট করে কি করে, সেগুলো আমার মাথার উপর দিয়ে বেরিয়ে গেল অবশ্য, কিন্তু আজকাল সেগুলো নাকি একসাথে নাকি একজন আছে, একটা মানে প্রত্যেকেই 15-20 জন আলাদা আলাদা বাড়িতে তাদের নিজেদের বাড়ির থেকে সবাই মিলে একসাথে একটা সিনেমা দেখছে আর সেটা নিয়ে ডিসকাস করছে আর পপকর্ন খাচ্ছে। তো সেটাও করা যেতে পারে, দ্যাট ক্যান অলসো বি ডান।
Apart from this, there is also some, importance that we can put in um, structuring our daily activities.
দ্যাট ইজ ভেরি ইম্পর্টেন্ট, রাইট, থ্যাংক ইউ। সেটা খুব ইম্পর্টেন্ট। একটা হচ্ছে যে ডিউরিং আওয়ার the pandemic, what has happened, because we are not going to school, we are not kind of doing our regular classes, a lot of our daily structure has got disturbed. Aage ki hoto, we would wake up in the morning, we would kind of clean ourselves, wash, and then go get ready to go to school. So now also a lot of people are having online classes, but again many people we know are not able to have online classes. Many of us are missing online classes. But I think it is very important that we sleep at a regular time, we wake up at a regular time, we study at a regular time, we have some physical activity at a regular time. So there has to be a structure in throughout the day. মানে আমি 24 ঘন্টা আগে যেরকম ভাবে কাটাতাম, সেই 24 ঘন্টার কিন্তু অ্যাটলিস্ট কিছু ধারাবাহিকতা থাকা যেন খুব দরকার। মানে এই না হয় যে আমার ক্লাস নেই বলে আই এম নট অ্যাটেন্ডিং ক্লাসেস, দেয়ারফর আই এম ওয়েকিং আপ at 11 a.m. in the morning, I'm having my breakfast at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, I'm, you know, constantly glued onto the screen, which also is a problem. Uh, a lot of young people are telling me that they are feeling very, very unmotivated and constantly, playing mobile games, computer games, and their attention is suffering. So I think that is also an important problem.
And that is also a cause for concern for a lot of parents who feel that, if they ask their children to hand over their phones, the children are getting angry and throwing tantrums, or anger could be for other reasons also. But how can young people deal with the anger that they feel?
Right. I think there are two separate problems you're asking me. One is anger, which is right. So one is anger. So that we need to address. First, let me address this whole problem about screen addiction. You know, a lot of young people are getting completely hooked on to the screen, and they are unable to, you know, just move their eyes away from the screen. So maybe they are waking up in the morning, uh, uh, and then checking their messages, checking their social media account. They are brushing their teeth with right hand, and on the left hand they have got this phone on. And throughout the day, for about say 12, 14 hours, all they are doing is kind of completely glued on to the screen. And when I have spoken to the young people, all of them have told me that they know this is a problem, but they don't know how to get out of it. So I think a couple of things needs to be done by all the young people. Firstly, first and foremost, we all need to know that constantly being glued onto the screen damages our eyes and damages our health. So it is not only bad for concentration, not only bad for our mental health, but it is extremely bad for our eyesight and physical health. So if my eyesight suffers, if my physical health suffers, I am going to pay a cost in the long term. So that is, I think, all of us need to be aware of. The second thing is, if we are constantly glued onto the screen and playing computer games, then the second very important fact is that our concentration drops remarkably. And once the school resumes, once we again have to start our normal physical classes, or many of us are having to appear for our tests, our academic results will drop. So first and foremost, the young people have to realize that screen addiction can cost them greatly: physical health, mental health, and academic achievement. So these are the three things which will suffer. How can we get rid of it? Obviously we can't get rid of mobile phones. We have, it's an essential commodity, and it is absolutely essential that we learn to use it carefully. So the plan is that it's not that we are not going to use it. We have to use it, but with responsibility. How can we do that? We can fix certain times of the day when we will use mobile phones for recreation. So maybe after the morning study, when it is over, I can use it for half an hour. Maybe after the evening study is over, or before I sit down to study in the evening, I will use it for half an hour. So let us try and fix some dedicated time when we are going to use the mobile phone. Number one. Number two, it is absolutely mandatory. My request is that, uh, none of us are working for fire services or police or emergency services. So we don't need to keep the mobile phone on or with me when we have gone to bed. So the mobile phone must be switched off and kept away from us when we are going to sleep. Because a terrible habit is, we are not getting sleep, we are looking at the screen constantly, and the bright light of the screen reduces our sleep, and therefore we stay awake, and finally at 4 a.m. in the morning we go to bed, wake up at 11 a.m. in a bad mood, when the whole home environment is spoiled, because mom and dad, they are terribly upset that you are sleeping till 11 or 12 p.m. in the afternoon. So I think, first and foremost, be responsible in your mobile phone use, fix dedicated time when you are using it, keep the mobile phone away when you are sleeping, and also, if you are finding it difficult to let go of your mobile phone, ask someone at home to help you with that. মা, আমি এই সারাক্ষণ আমার এরকম একটা ইচ্ছে হচ্ছে, তোমার কাছে ফোনটা রাখো। I would really request, I actually believe that all of us have agency. If we want, we can do it. And none of the young people, they want to use the mobile phone so much, but they are doing it because of lack of any other activity to do. So the third part is, if you are not going to use mobile phone, what are you going to do? There are many things which you can do. Just create a list of what kind of things you can do. Can you do a bit of physical exercise? Can you do a bit of sketching? Can you help out your parents or anyone at home? Can you look after the street dogs? You know, can you make a collage of family pictures? Bring out your old pictures, make a collage. Can you create a YouTube video where you have got all the family members from different parts of the world talking about someone's birthday? So there are many creative things which we can do. Can you learn a new skill uh, during this time? Can you ask your mother to teach you to how to cook? Can you ask your brother to kind of play an instrument? There are many things which can be done in order to replace our screen time.
I was also wondering what role hobbies have, like something
Hobbies,
that.
I think, I personally feel that, hobbies are a great way of enriching ourselves, because, see, what are hobbies? Hobbies are something which is extracurricular. Okay. Now, if we pursue something as a hobby with a passion, it is a two-way relationship. Hobbies enrich us. So if my hobby is wildlife, pursuing, or wildlife photography or stamp collection or any such thing, I get to know so many things about the whole entire world. I can pursue a couple of famous wildlife photographers, what kind of work they are doing. I can suppose I have an interest in architecture. I can, these days, you can visit any museum virtually. You can sit at your home, you can visit museum. So can I research a bit about that? So I think it enriches the mind and makes us a more complete person. And I think that is also very, very needed. Hobbies help us to focus on things which we do not usually think about. It is beyond just mathematics and uh, everything like that, and it is something which is parallel. And personally, for me, what hobbies has given me is that uh, I have found out about so many things which I never would have.
Okay. Before we move on to the next topic, I was thinking we could take one question from the Q&A box about something that somebody has written about the fact that they love listening to music, and they have become dependent on music, listening to music, and how they can get out of it.
I don't think you need to get kind of move away from music. Music is something which relaxes the mind, it heals the soul. Uh, you can continue to listen to music, but again, everything we can do, I think we can do everything in moderation. So I will only ask this person to consider, is he neglecting other things? Is he not talking to his family members? Is he not communicating with his friends? Is he neglecting his studies? Is he doing, is he not doing other things which he or she is meant to do, and maybe spending disproportionate amount of time on listening to music? Only then he needs to reduce that. But I don't think listening to music is problematic. Although many parents, I would must say, uh, um, they worry about the kind of music their children listen to. There are many kinds of, so K-pop is very popular, uh, and apparently you don't call a K-pop fan a fan. You have to call a K-pop fan an army. So apparently um, they are, yeah, BTS army. So I have learned a lot of things from young people. Then many young people are interested in metal and heavy metal and dark metal, which their parents kind of worry about. So I often tell them that you have to listen to Atul Prasad, which your mother likes, and make your mother listen to Linkin Park or whatever which you like. So there is an exchange of ideas. And I think, music is also a great bonder in the family. So why don't everyone in the family come together and listen to music for about, say, 15-20 minutes, or during dinner time, uh, each other's music. One day Baba has the right what kind of music will be played. The other day Ma can have a conversation regarding, this is my favorite music. And it can be anything. It can be from Paglu Dance to Linkin Park or everything. Uh, so I think music is a great way of bonding. And that is again something which you will move away everyone from the mobile phone.
You spoke about taking a worry break in the family where parents and young people can get together to talk. There's one question in where somebody said that family members are not willing to talk. Maybe they are also, I mean, they have their own struggles. So, what can the young person do in such time?
Absolutely, that's a very good point. Kintu tar age na, Reshmi, I want to go back to something which I forgot about the anger. I said that I will talk about anger, and um, regarding anger management. A lot of the young people, their parents say, the young people themselves say that if someone tries to restrict my mobile phone, I get very angry. Now, it's my job really to talk to young people about their anger. I spend 70% of my working time talking to young people about their low mood, feeling angry. What I have realized is that none of us, including young people, enjoy being angry. I don't know of anyone, maybe one in a million, who enjoys being angry. So therefore, uh, anger is actually more a sign of frustration, helplessness, and lashing out. Now, reducing anger is not a one-day process. It's not that you switch off a switch in your brain and you will suddenly become very calm. The first and foremost, what I request all young people to do is to, again, sit down quietly on their own and think about the last 5 occasions when they have become angry. And all the young people would come back and tell me that there is a pattern to their anger. There are 2 or 3 specific trigger points which makes them angry. So therefore, I asked them to write it down. So what are the trigger points which makes you feel angry? Now, my conversation with them, I tell them that 7 days, 10 days, 1 month, 6 months, as you are, going along, living your life, those trigger points will again happen. It's not that the trigger points which has made you feel angry, say 1 month ago, that is going to again happen later. So tell me how you will manage your anger again if your, say, teacher says something, if your uh, mother is saying something. And you will be surprised, most young people, they can come up with solutions. What are those solutions? One is not responding immediately. I think that is the best thing. So suppose me and Reshmi, both of you, we are having an argument. And in the past, you have said something which has made me angry. And again, in the next meeting, you again have repeated the same thing. So this time I am prepared that I will not react angrily to Reshmi. I will just count 10. And even after counting 10, I feel angry. I will tell you, Reshmi, I'm actually very disappointed, but I will talk about it later. So I think the first and foremost lesson is do not respond immediately. Number 2, prepare yourself, role play scenarios that in the same trigger points are happening in your life, how you will express your disappointment in future. মানে আবার যদি তোমার সাথে এই ঘটনাটা হয় বা আমার সাথে যখন এই ঘটনাটা হবে যাতে আমি আগে রেগে গেছি, আমি কিভাবে ঠান্ডা মাথায় রিয়াক্ট করব সেটাই আমি মাথায় ভেবে রাখি। আমাদের রাগ আমাদের ব্যবহারটাকে যেন কন্ট্রোল না করে, আমাদের ব্যবহারের মাধ্যমে আমরা রাগটাকে কন্ট্রোল করব। Third point is, when we are feeling calm, we should go and tell the person that, look, you are repeatedly doing these things. It is making me angry. Can we have a discussion how we can solve this together? So therefore, then the discussion about, you are not waking up in the morning, it is making me angry. আমাকে বারবার তোমার খাবার গরম করতে হচ্ছে, I have to heat up your food, I have to prepare breakfast. So therefore, the young person has to take responsibility and act. Or the mother might say that you are using too much mobile phone, which is making me angry. You are neglecting your studies, your grades have dropped, this is making me angry. So again, these are discussions for the worry time, when the family gets together and have discussion around the specific issues which are causing anger. And mind you, uh, I think most young people want a solution for their anger. My request is for all of us adults to acknowledge that. Coming to the point which you asked me, that you said that, which is very true, many parents actually themselves have depression, anxiety. See, I would request all young people to switch roles and think what their parents are going through. মাকে কি কি করতে হচ্ছে, মাকে বাবা বাড়ির সবার সংসারের পুরো ব্যাপারটাকে সামলাতে হচ্ছে, মাকে তার নিজের বাবা মার কথা চিন্তা করতে হচ্ছে, তাদের শরীর খারাপ হচ্ছে, মায়ের নিজের হয়তো হাইপারটেনশন আছে, ব্লাড সুগার আছে, তার যত্ন নিতে হচ্ছে। তো আমি না এক সময় বলি যে আমাদের যেরকম একটু রোল রিভার্সাল করা, মানে আই শুড think about my parents, what they are going through. And if I, as a young person, feel that my father or my mother is kind of having difficulty, can I WhatsApp them? Can I write a letter to them that, Baba, you look a bit worried, can I help you? Baba, is there a way which I can help you? অনেক সময় না কথা বলাটা মুশকিল হয়। আমার মনে হয় আজকাল তো SMS হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ করা যেতে পারে, মাকে জাস্ট বলা, মা একটা ভার্চুয়াল হাগ দিলাম তোমায়, তুমি একটু চিন্তিত আছো মনে হচ্ছে, একটা ভার্চুয়াল হাগ, তোমার যদি কোনো অসুবিধা থাকে ক্যান আই হেল্প ইউ। আমার মা যখন খুব রেগে যেত, আমি খুব যখন প্রচন্ড বদমাইশি করতাম, আমি তখন মা ঘুমানোর সময় গিয়ে পা টিপতে আরম্ভ করতাম, আমি জানি যে তাহলে আর কি মা একটু, এটা আমার বড় মাসি আমায় শিখিয়ে দিয়েছিল। সো আই এম এভার গ্রেটফুল টু দ্যাট। সো সি, parents are also human beings who might be in difficulty,
Yes, and this is what we were discussing a little earlier, that because parents are also in a lot of difficulty, they often might not find time to sit down and do activities together. So a young person had written in what to do if parents can't make time for me.
See, parents have to, I think all of us have to make some time for each other, right? So again, can you send a SMS, can you send a WhatsApp, Jima, can we kind of sit down and do this? Can we watch Miracle? Can we watch Omago? আমি জানি না whether many of you watch this Radio Mirchi, Omago যেগুলো হয়, can we watch this? Send a funny clip of any YouTube video which you like. There are many ways of communicating your concern and the fact that I am missing you, I am missing your company, without kind of being একেবারে ঘাড় ধরে বসা, মা আমি তোমার সাথে কথা বলতে চাই, এরকম করে নাও করে কিন্তু করা যায়। So I think all of us have to be a bit more creative and reach out. See, my only request is that all young people should, I know it sounds very odd, I know as adults we should be kind of looking after the children, but I think many young people, particularly young carers, যাদের বাড়িতে হয়তো কারুর মানে কোনো অসুস্থতা রয়েছে, ডায়ালিসিস হচ্ছে, they are very sensitive, so ask your friends what they do when they feel that their parents are unavailable. So ask your teachers, how can they solve this problem? My request is, Reshmi, one thing which I want to insist, that reach out to someone. Don't keep your problems to yourself, and trust me, a solution will be found. If I cannot make my mother talk to me, maybe I can ask my mashi to kind of gently nudge and ask, যে কিরে ও কিরম আছে, তোর সাথে কি কথাবার্তা বলছি কিনা। সো এমপ্লয় অ্যাডভোকেটস, কেউ না কেউ করবেই ব্যাপারটা। And I think teachers are great advocates, because I think private tutors, teachers, they are great advocates for children.
So there are quite a few young people who have written in about the the wonderful things that they're doing to cope. আমি একটা পড়ে শোনাচ্ছি because it's very interesting. I think you might want to answer. I have found joy in reading books during this time, but my parents are worried about me being an antisocial. Is this considered to be a problem?
Not at all. Be more antisocial and ask your parents to be a bit more antisocial. This is the most antisocial, welcome antisocial thing you can do. So more power to you. So for your next birthday, ask your Baba to give you I am a proud antisocial with a picture of some of your favorite books on the t-shirt.
A lot of people have written in before and are writing in now also in the Q&A box about all the problems that they are having with concentrating on having
True.
focus
It's
in
a very good
studies.
point. Right. I think we were supposed to discuss it. See, concentration really has become a problem. Concentration, porashonaয় concentration. And to be honest, it is not only young people, but concentration also, adults are also facing concentration because they are having to work from home. Uh, See, focusing your attention on a small screen, missing your friends, missing the discussion, it is very normal. So, first and foremost, don't feel very troubled that uh, you are the only person who is having concentration difficulty. Even the teachers, even the school authorities know it is difficult. So, therefore, they have taken into account. The main part is that if you are able to do group studies, if you are able to do kind of 2 or 3 way interactions over Facebook video, where you keep the whole thing silent, you are studying together somehow. I think that will help you to focus. Employ a study buddy. So request someone who can kind of check with you that I have done this, have you done this? Not as a competition, but just as a collaboration, so that you can maintain your focus. Can you, someone whom I met very recently, they have formed a forum, they are all class 12 students, although I know we are not. What they did was they keep their Facebook video on and study together. And if someone is seen to be kind of, their attention span is lagging, other person would kind of say, Jay, come on, let's do this. So I think we have to employ techniques. The second thing is do some physical exercise, get some fresh air. Constantly sitting at home, staring at the screen, is very tiring. Definitely do some physical exercise, get some fresh air, and also definitely have some time which is you are completely screen free. No TV, no mobile, no noise. One of the best ways, you can do that is to just sit quietly, go to your terrace and look out what is happening in the neighborhood. Do you know all the plants which are there in the neighborhood? Can you name them? Why don't you try that? Do you know all the people who come to your neighborhood? Do you know all the houses in the neighborhood? So pick simple tasks, get a bit of fresh air, know your neighborhood better, and you will feel a lot more re-energized.
Dr. Ram, এই জায়গাটা আপনি একটুখানি বাংলাতেও যদি বলেন, then a lot of people.
রাইট। সো এই যে ক্রমাগত স্ক্রিনের দিকে তাকিয়ে থাকলে, হ্যাঁ, স্বভাবতই কিন্তু আমাদের সবার অসুবিধা হচ্ছে, বড়দেরও অসুবিধা হচ্ছে এই যে ওয়ার্ক ফ্রম হোম করতে করতে। তাই আমাদের না কিছুটা, মানে আমি এটা আমার নিজের মাথার বুদ্ধি নয়, আই মাস্ট সে, আমি কয়েকজন ক্লাস 12 এর স্টুডেন্ট আমি তাদের দেখি, তারা বলল যে তারা নাকি ফেসবুক ভিডিওটা অন করে একসাথে পড়াশোনা করে, মানে 1-1.5 ঘন্টা সবাই, মানে ওরা নিজেরা হয়তো পড়ছে ওই নিয়ে, কিন্তু স্ক্রিন খোলা আছে যাতে দেখছে, নিয়ে তারপর যদি কেউ দেখে যে কেউ একটু হাই তুলছে, ঘুমিয়ে পড়েছে, মন দিচ্ছে না, তখন অন্যজন একটু ট্যাপ করে। মানে আর 4 জনের একটা গ্রুপ করে একে অপরের সাথে কম্পিটিশন দিয়ে পড়া নয়, কোলাবোরেট করে পড়া, মানে সহযোগিতা করা, যে আমার 5-6 পাতা হয়ে গেছে, তুই কতটা করেছিস, যাতে আমি নিজের থেকে হয়তো মোটিভেশন পাচ্ছি না, আমাকে একটু মানে খোঁচা দেওয়া যে ঠিক করে পড়াশোনা কর, একটু এগিয়ে যেতে হবে, এতটা আমাদের টাইম, আমাকে কেউ একটা চেক করছে। কেননা আমাদের তো যত আমরা বড় ক্লাসে যাই ততটা নিজেদের পড়াটা তো খুব ইম্পর্টেন্ট, মানে সারাক্ষণ তো টিউশন চলে না। আর এইভাবে পড়লে কিছুটা কনসেন্ট্রেশন ফোকাস থাকে। আরেকটা হচ্ছে ফিজিক্যাল এক্সারসাইজ ভীষণ ইম্পর্টেন্ট কিন্তু। আর একটু হাওয়া বাতাস, মুক্ত বাতাসে গিয়ে কিছু সময় কাটানো, ছাদে যাওয়া, বারান্দায় যাওয়া। আমাকে একজন বলল যে ও একটা প্রজেক্ট নিয়েছে যে ওদের পাড়ায় কি কি গাছ আছে সেইটাকে আইডেন্টিফাই করা। ও কিন্তু লিস্ট, এর আগে কোনো মানে গাছের প্রতি কোনো এ ছিল না, ও আউট অফ শিয়ার বোর্ডম এটা ঠিক করেছে এবং একটা লিস্ট করেছে যে এইখানে এই গাছ আছে, ওইখানে ওই গাছ আছে। তো এটাতে কি হয়েছে, ও বললো যে আমার একটা হাঁটা চলাও হলো, একটু ফ্রেশ এয়ারও পেলাম এবং আমি আমার পাড়াটাকে অনেক বেটার চিনতে পারলাম। তো সেইটাও কিন্তু ইম্পর্টেন্ট, একটু হাওয়া বাতাস পাওয়া, একটু উইদাউট স্ক্রিন কিছুটা সময় কাটানো, চুপচাপ নিজের মনে থাকা, হ্যাঁ, যেখানে আমি অ্যাকচুয়ালি কোনো অ্যাক্টিভিটি করছি না, গাছে জল দিতে পারি, চুপচাপ দাঁড়িয়ে থাকতে পারি বারান্দায়, তাহলেই কিন্তু মাইন্ডটা অনেকটা ফ্রেশ হবে।
আরেকটা জিনিস আপনি সেদিন বলছিলেন যে দিনে যখন পড়াশোনা শুরু করা হয় সকালবেলায়, তখন কঠিন জিনিসটা আগে ট্যাকল করা।
রাইট 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 এইটা আমি মানে আমি নিজে খুব ইউজ করতাম। আমাদের ডাক্তারিতে একটা ভীষণ ইম্পর্টেন্ট সাবজেক্ট ছিল যেটা আমার খুব ভালো লাগতো না একেবারেই, কমিউনিটি মেডিসিন। যে আমি দেখেছিলাম যে আমি এটা নিজের অভিজ্ঞতা থেকে দেখেছি যে যে জিনিসটা আমাদের পড়তে ইচ্ছে করে না সেটা যদি আমি একেবারে সকালবেলা পড়ে ফেলি তাহলে কিন্তু না, মনে কর খুব কষ্ট করে আমি যদি সকালবেলা পড়ে ফেলি প্রথম 1-1.5 ঘন্টার মধ্যে, তাহলে সারা দিনটায় মনটা অনেকটা ভালো থাকতো, যে যাক বাবা ওই কঠিন পড়াটা আমার হয়ে গেছে, এবার বাকি যেগুলো আমার পড়তে ভাল লাগে সেগুলো আস্তে আস্তে পড়বো। তার কারণ কি, আমরা যখন দিনের শেষে শক্ত সাবজেক্টগুলো পড়ার চেষ্টা করি তখন কিন্তু মনটা টায়ার্ড, অলরেডি ব্রেন অনেকটা ক্লান্ত হয়ে গেছে, then we cannot force ourselves and read something which is difficult. When we are tired, we will read subjects which we like. So the best strategy is to read subjects you do not like right at the beginning. নেমন্তন্ন বাড়িতে, when we go out for dinner or have food in a restaurant, বা বাড়িতে যখন খাওয়া দাওয়া হয়, মিষ্টিটা কিন্তু একেবারে শেষে দেওয়া হয়। করলার শুক্তো একেবারে অনেকেরই ভাল লাগে, আমি জানি, আমার লাগে না। কেননা তেতো যদি একেবারে শেষে খেতে দেয় তাহলে কেউ খাবে না, সবাই এই রসগোল্লা খেয়েই পেট ভরিয়ে দেবে। তাই যেটা করার আমার ইচ্ছে নেই সেটা সবচেয়ে তাড়াতাড়ি করে নিলে কিন্তু অনেক সুবিধা।
আরেকটা প্রবলেম একজন লিখেছেন যে দিস পারসন, ইয়াং পারসন ইজ হ্যাভিং প্রবলেমস বিকজ প্রোক্রাস্টিনেশন ইজ আ মেজর প্রবলেম, যে পিছিয়ে রাখা জিনিসটা, আর পড়তে বসতে পরে নানা রকম চিন্তা ভাবনা মাথায় আসে। সো how to keep the thoughts away.
Right. Procrastination, but I mean, for those who do not understand, procrastination is something we are keeping on thinking about the same thing and not doing it. But I have to do it, I have to do it, but I'm delaying it. That is procrastination. Procrastination can actually be a habit for many people. There are many reasons for procrastination. One is we tend to procrastinate about things which we don't like. Suppose I have a deadline submission, I have got to write this essay, and I don't like this essay. So therefore, I am delaying it. And the more I delay it, more anxiety happens. So my request is actually, there are no easy answers. It's best to get it done with. It is like visiting a dentist, you know. Don't keep this toothache lingering. Go to a dentist, sort it out. Because if you continue to procrastinate, the problem will get bigger. You will feel increasingly depressed, and your other activities will also suffer. In a tiny minority of young people, there is something called obsessive-compulsive disorder. You know, that is a psychiatric illness which happens in 60 or 8, 1 out of 60 or 80 people, where they have this disease of procrastination. So if this problem you cannot solve it by yourselves through with the help of your parents, with your teachers, definitely reach out to a professional who may be able to guide you.
Yeah.
Some people, follow a rule. This also. So if you wake up in the morning and do it, get it done with. So suppose I'm delaying writing an essay. Just force yourself, uh, do it in the morning and reward yourself with a fruit and nut chocolate.
A lot of people are also experiencing depression. Uh, some people are recovering from COVID, have lost some loved ones, are
See,
anxious about
yeah,
contracting the
yeah,
virus. Yeah.
absolutely. A lot of people are experiencing depression for a variety of reasons, because they are in very difficult situation. Financial situation of many families have taken a hit. There are many uh, people in the families who have died, who have been in close brush with death. So I think feeling low, feeling anxious is natural. When we say we are feeling depressed, I think the first point, Reshmi, which we have to figure out, is this normal low mood which is responding to my environment, or this is clinical depression about which I have to do something, about which I have to kind of seek professional help. So, what is clinical depression? What is low mood because of my mm, environment? That is something which we first need to differentiate. If you are clinically depressed, it will affect your entire functioning. You will not sleep well, you will not eat well, your concentration will suffer, you will become irritable, you might have crying spells, you might even feel that life is not worth living, and these symptoms are persisting. So therefore, if you have clinical depression, the best thing is to again uh, reach out to a professional and kind of seek help for that. For the But I must say, the majority of young people I have been talking to, they do not have clinical depression. They have just low mood because of their lack of meeting their friends, or they are worried about their own health or their relatives health, and the whole family environment might be a bit difficult. So for that, the usual measures which we have discussed about, how can you liven up the home environment, how can you get your parents to spend more time with you, can you participate in activities where you are making yourself useful. One of the best ways where we can overcome our own depression is reaching out to others. So, can I call my friend whose mother I know is very unwell? And can I ask him or her that, can I help you? How are you? Just sending a message, talking to that person that if you need anything, please let me know. I will do my best. Can you call out your teacher with whom you have may not have been in contact, and you know that he or she is unwell? So reaching out, looking beyond ourselves, often makes us feel great, often makes us feel useful, and that is one of the best ways we can overcome our own low mood and depression.
Someone who's experiencing grief,
See,
how to
grief
cope.
is a very difficult thing. Grief is, I think it takes, see, sadness and grief. Unfortunately, we are facing so much at this time. And there are no easy answers for grief. Each of us need to give ourselves time to grieve. The most important thing about grief is, let grief overcome you. Feel whatever you're feeling. If you are feeling that you need to cry, if you then do cry. If you feel that you need to kind of avoid contact with your friends, you don't want to talk to anyone, please do that. So don't feel compelled that you have to overcome your grief within next 7 days and act brave. Grief is a very normal thing. It should not be suppressed. That is number one. If you are feeling very hopeless, very sad, you know, remember that everyone in the family is going through the same process. Just be with them. Try and do not spend too much time on your own. You know, remember that your family members, your friends are always there to help you. So, number three, what I always say is that, that the person who has passed away, the person who has died, he or she will never want that because of his or her death I am suffering. So in a way, we need to remember the positive things about this person, and the fact that my loved one who has gone, whom I can't see, you know he or she would never want me to suffer because of his or her absence, and I think we need to honor that. But again, as I said, uh, grief is something which we uh, have to kind of deal with it in our own way. We need to give it time, and the adults around you can speak to them, tell them you are feeling sad. Don't Often a lot of young people, what they do, they don't talk about their grief because they know that my mother is also suffering. Don't do that. If you feel sad, talk to your mother, cry together, you know share your grief.
So you've shared a lot of points, but doing these things in small bits uh, is more a global thing than trying everything at once.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So if you
I
want to
think
talk,
my the way my takeaway points will be that if you are feeling anxious, depressed, sad, unhappy, you know, let us write down what are the points which are troubling us, and then deal with it in small steps. Don't try to conquer everything one day, because we are going through difficult times. The fact that all of you are here, all of us are thinking about this together, means that there is a lot of help together. Form a circle of you know friends, families with whom you can talk, and each of us will support each other. So have that trust, reach out, and I'm absolutely sure that we will conquer this. And see, the other thing, Reshmi, which I feel is we must all remember that this has been one of the worst times our world has ever faced. The fact that we are going through this with courage, with dignity, that all so many young people are here, means that the fear of facing the worst has gone. If we can face this, we can face any adversity in future. So my request is to all my young friends to remember that the difficult times you are going through has made all of you a much more stronger, courageous person, and you will be able to face whatever in future comes.
it's almost time for us to wind up now. It's been an hour and it's just breezed through. Before we wrap up, I would like to make an announcement about the next session that we are going to have in this webinar series that is scheduled on June 16th at 4:30 p.m. and it will be with Dr. Jayaranjan Ram. And that session is mainly for the students of class 11 and 12 who are having a really difficult time with so many board exams being cancelled. They are going through a lot of confusion and anxiety. And it would be great if you can pass this word on to your friends and family who might find it useful to attend this session on June 16th. And we hope to carry this conversation around mental well-being on our portal as well, abpeducation.com. So please follow us. And for the next session, we will be sending out the Google Forms for registration on the ABP Education social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and also on the Mental Health Foundation Facebook page. And before wrapping up, I would ask Dr. Ram to share his parting words.
I think it has been great. As I said, what does not kill us makes us stronger. And I genuinely believe all the young people who have gone through these very difficult times, lives having been turned completely upside down, remember that you have gone through this. It is almost over. And you will emerge out of this a much more stronger person. The other thing, Reshmi, which you have already said, we will make some bullet points about all the things which we have discussed, and we will send it across to all the participants, and it will be available on all the multiple platforms also. But thank you. It was great talking to all of you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ram, for your time and for so generously sharing your insights with us. Thank you, everyone, for being with us today. Hope the session has been useful for you, and hope you have a good evening. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.